definitely haven't filmed anything since, when was the last time that I filmed something? It's been 4 months since I last filmed anything. Actually, that's a lie, because I filmed a lot of stuff from the time I had the baby until now. I just haven't edited anything or like created an actual video. Today's a new day, and actually tomorrow is October 1st. And I just decided that I thought it would be a good idea to do Vlogtober. A good idea, kind of a good idea. A challenge, a good challenge for me to do Vlogtober. Will I do it? Who knows? Because I think last year I also said that I wanted to do Vlogtober, and it didn't happen. But I'm actually like planning ahead on some things, so maybe I'll be able to keep up with it if things go my way. Because it's the last day of September, we are going to plan October and talk about some of the things that I have in mind for this month, things that I want to do that incorporate more daily habits and actual goals for this month and actually continuing on to the end of the year. I want to finish out this year very strong. October is my birthday month, and usually around this time is when I start getting a little ambitious and I have like a bunch of goals and a lot of plans and things I want to do. Things will just pile up in my head of all these ideas. And so now that I've kind of gotten a chance to write some things down and prioritize the things that I actually want to invest my time in, now is the time that I want to actually plan it out. I kind of like plan both on like a physical journal, and then I also plan on like my Notion. I don't go to it as often as I should to update things. I'm still trying to figure out how to utilize both of them, because I still feel like I'm kind of like an analog person where I need to write things down, and then sometimes I just feel like the convenience of having the Notion, I can like pull it up on my phone if I'm out and about and I don't have my journal with me. So I'm trying to figure out like a more hybrid way of doing my journaling, but my journaling and my planning. We'll experiment through that together, but like I said, let's go through my October goals and planning. I guess we can recap first. Maybe we should kind of like rewind and just, I'll recap you on like everything that's been going on since the last time that I posted a video, which was, what was it? May. In July, I had my baby. And I mean, what else is there? July, I had a baby, and Ellie started dance class again. And I am currently, I believe, 10 weeks postpartum. Or I guess this week I'll be 11 weeks postpartum. And yeah. That's like the shortest recap ever. I've been reading a lot. I think I've read, how many books have I read since May? In June, I read 4 books. I read A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, which was super fun. I gave that 5 stars. I read One Dark Window. I put this as 4 stars, but honestly, I think I want to change it to 5 stars, because since then I have not stopped thinking about reading it, and I want to read the second book this month if I can get it from the library. I think I might change that rating to 5 stars instead of 4 stars. I started reading the Thursday Murder Club, but I didn't finish it by the deadline that I needed to. It was already due back at the library, so I had to return it. So I only read like 14 pages. But I read Funny Story by Emily Henry, gave that one 5 stars. Actually, yeah, I gave that one 5 stars. And then I read Mirror Lake, which is the 3rd book in the Shady Hollow mystery series, and I gave that 4 stars. Love this series. It's so fun and like cozy, and the perfect palate cleanser for me, I feel. In July, I read 4 books. I read A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, so that's book number 2 in the Glimmer Falls series. I gave that one 3.75 stars, mainly because it was a little too similar to the first book. There were just a lot of the same tropes from like the first one that carried on to this one, mainly because it was involving a witch and then a demon, and so it just felt a little bit too similar for me, although I still really like the series as a whole. And then I read A Novel Love Story. I gave that one 5 stars. And then I read The Only Purple House in Town. I gave that one 2.5 stars. It was kind of a shame because I picked that one up from Target. Like I physically bought the book. And I think I have really terrible luck with purchasing books and giving them good ratings. I feel like every time I purchase a book, it doesn't come out, it's not as strong as I want it to be. And then I get disappointed because I'm like, oh, I should have just like got it from the library. But maybe I think I might have picked this up from the store because it wasn't available in my library. But now I understand why the library didn't pick it up. But that's just my opinion. And then the last book I read in July, this is July, right? The last book I read in July was Happy Medium. And I gave that one 4 stars. That's a really fun paranormal romance. if you need something for October for like this spooky season, that's a really fun one. In August, I was not as strong in my reading. I read The 7-Year Slip, which was a 5-star read for me. I quickly learned after reading A Novel Love Story and The 7-Year Slip that I really like Ashley Poston's writing. Her stories are really original and really fun, and I like a little bit of magical realism whenever I pick up a book. And then I read The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, and I gave that one 4 stars. That one was really fun. Last summer, I read India Holton's Dangerous Damsels series, which is by far one of my favorite book series. And The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love is like her new series that I think is called like it's like the Academic Lovers trilogy or something like that. But it was super fun. What a romp. And she's really good at like building tension between, the two main characters, and there's a lot of like action involved too. So it's very, when I'm reading, there's a lot of like visual images that come to life, and like I can really see it as like a series or like a mini series or like a movie. I would love to see any of her books turned into a mini series or a movie. That would be so fun. And then September. So today is the last day of September. I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm on my 5th book. So I've completed 4 books. I am in the middle of reading the 5th one, which is Twilight Falls. I think I'm almost done with this though. I have like 100 pages left, so I might be able to finish this tonight and have 5 books read for this month. The first book that I read this month was The Dead Romantics, which is another Ashley Poston book, and I gave that one 4 stars. That one was a little bit more quirky, I would say, and I heard a lot of people talk about how they didn't like it, but I liked it. I thought it was still a good book. One that I would recommend, and one I wouldn't say I would read it again. I wouldn't feel it necessary to read again, but I had a good time reading it. And then I read Last Chance Books, which is a YA novel that is kind of like You've Got Mail. Gave that one 4 stars because it was just like a fun, like easy read. And then I read the 3rd book in the Glimmer Falls series, which is A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. There were a lot of scenes in this book that like I was laughing out loud, like literally laughing out loud. It was such a fun book, super like out there and a little bit steamy still, but it's fun. It was a lot of fun. I did have a little bit of beef with this series, mainly because A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire is the last book in this trilogy, and I was expecting her to have another book within the series that followed another main character that was part of like the 3 best friends. So the first 2 followed 2 of the 3 best friends, and then the 3rd book went and followed like another guy that was in like the close circle, but it wasn't like the other best friend. And one of the main reasons why I was a little bit upset about it is because the 3rd best friend, who we're not getting a story of, she's a fairy, and she's Filipina. She literally says it when she introduces her in the 1st book, that she's like a Filipina pixie who is like a social media influencer, and she's like very colorful and bright and just like very involved within the community. But yeah, I was kind of mad because we didn't get we didn't get her story, and it doesn't look like we're going to be getting her story, so a little bit disappointed with that, but it's fine. The most recent book that I finished was Bewitched, which is the sequel to the Toil and Trouble series by Sophie H. Morgan. I think that's the author. The first one is The Witch is Back. I read that one last October, and I was really surprised when I read that book because I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, but that was like a 5-star read for me. If you're needing some witchy romances for this spooky season, I definitely recommend A Witch is Back and Bewitched. I'm pretty sure the third one is coming out soon, or not soon, I think next year actually. And then I'll finish off the Toil and Trouble series. That was also a really good read. I gave that one 5 stars. This book is the 4th book in the Shady Hollow series. So basically, the way that I describe this series is that it's kind of like Zootopia, but more like woodland creatures. Although there's a panda that lives in the forest with them. This is the author's note. Dear reader, though you may have ventured into this world a time or two before, we nevertheless wish to alert you that Twilight Falls is a work of most fanciful fiction. Therefore, certain events or characters may not fully conform to the rules of dull reality. If a bear and a mouse walking the same aisles of the grocery store strikes you as improbable, well, you may wish to take a moment to reorient yourself. For when you turn the page, you will enter a place where woodland creatures behave and misbehave in very human ways. So, you know, in this series, the main character is a fox and she's dating a bear. So it's obviously like very improbable, but it's just fun, and they kind of make it, the authors tell you, like, if it helps, like, think of them more like humans with these animal like characteristics. Now that we've gone through all the books that I've read since my last video, since my last update, let's go into my goals for this month. So probably one of the most obvious goals this month is that I am wanting to participate in Vlogtober. Last year I also wanted to participate in Vlogtober, and then it just never happened. I think I maybe did 2 videos, or I'm not even sure, maybe if that. But this time I really want to nail it and like commit to it. So I'm being a little bit more strategic in terms of what I'm going to be filming and like how I'm going to be editing things, so that way it doesn't take me such a long time. But hopefully it will give me a better flow of churning out all these videos and then challenging myself to film and edit every single day. My second goal, I have a really huge pile of fabric. My fabric stash is just getting out of control, and one of the things that I want to do this month is try to sew through my fabric stash. I have a couple of projects that I've set aside in my Notion that I've organized of things that I want to attempt to make, so we'll see if I can get to any of those projects. Currently, I have a pattern test that I need to finish up, and actually I need to submit on October 3rd, so I literally have 3 days to do it, but it's only a pair of shorts, so I should be able to get through it pretty quickly, but at least that will knock off like one project of the month. We'll see how many more projects I'll be able to get through. One of my goals for 2024 was to read an average of like 3 books a month, so total 36 books in the year, and I'm already at 30 books completed. So I only have 6 more books to go. That means this month I would realistically only need to read 2 books, but I absolutely know that I'll be able to read probably at least 3 books, considering that I already have like a large TBR that's like building up. Certainly more than 6 books on my TBR. So I think incorporating a goal of reading every single day will at least contribute to that for me to complete. So, and I've been consistently reading, not every day, but weekly. I would say I've been reading maybe 4 to 5 times a week. And so just pushing myself a little bit more to read every single day in the month of October, I think is not a huge, it's not like a huge jump. I feel like it's a lot more realistic and achievable. Another goal that I am going to start this month, but I won't be able to finish it this month, is The Artist's Way. So I started this last July. I started this in July of 2023, and I wasn't able to finish it just because, you know, I got a little bit lazy, life got in the way, and I just kind of like pushed it to the side. One of the things that kind of deterred me was doing the morning pages. I think I started feeling a little bit forced, like it didn't feel as natural to write down my thoughts. I think this time around, I'm not gonna be so strict in terms of how lengthy my morning page entries need to be. I think I was so set on finishing the correct amount of pages. I don't think it like sparked any kind of like extra creativity by forcing me to continue writing this much, you know what I mean? So I think this time around, I'm just going to give myself the goal of actually putting an entry in every single day. If I can complete all the allotted amount of pages, great. If I can't, that's no problem either. I think it's just a matter of making it a habit to like jot down some thoughts in the morning, whatever is like boggling up and like clouding my mind. I can write it down just to get it out there and then like leave it at that, not give myself too much of pressure of like how much it needs to be, because I think it just gets a little bit, it feels more like a chore as opposed to something that's supposed to be like fueling your creativity. So I am going to start The Artist's Way again, and I'm probably going to take a little bit more of a lenient approach to it, but I think it's a good time for me to start it because I should be able to finish it by the end of the year. Like when the year is up, The Artist's Way should be up as well. So that's something that I'm going to be starting. Another thing that I kind of want to get back into is learning Tagalog. I bought this book also a while ago, and I think I only went through like the first and second lesson. I really wish that Duolingo had Tagalog, but they don't. They just have some more obscure languages that I'm not entirely sure would get as much use as like you would in Tagalog, but I don't know, I guess that's me just being biased because I'm Filipino and I want to learn Tagalog. As a Filipino American, like a second gen Filipino American, like this is one of the things that like, you know, I never learned it as a kid, and now as an adult, it's like so important for me to have this connection with my culture and something that I want to pass down to my kids as well. My younger brother is actually also kind of self-studying Tagalog, so I think it would be cool if like we get to a point where we can like start practicing together. That would be really fun, especially because like my brother is really shy and more reserved, so it would be like a fun bonding for like the both of us to get into. This baby is so upset. Hold on a second. So Wolfie had his 2-month appointment today, so he got his 2-month shots, and so he's kind of sad today. He's been crying. He had a really nice long nap right after the doctor's appointment, but once he woke up, he was very upset. And even while I was feeding him, he just like couldn't get past it. So he just needs some mommy time, huh? Oh, and we've got Zuka. Okay. All right, well, we've covered all of the monthly goals for October. So we've got Vlogtober, we've got sewing through my stash, we've got reading every day, we've got The Artist's Way, and learning Tagalog. It's quite ambitious. It's very ambitious, but it's good to, I think it's good to challenge yourself. I think because I have the reading goal on here, it's one of the goals that I know that I'll be able to achieve very quickly or like very easily. So I already know that I nailed one. You know what I mean? Like I could probably just check that one right off. Now let's get into some of the daily habits that I want to incorporate. Obviously the reading every day is like one of those daily habits, but it's more like leaning towards a bigger goal. Some other daily habits that I really want to focus on this month is my morning and my nighttime skincare. I really slacked on it, especially after having the baby. Of course, postpartum, it's tough. And I get really busy, and sometimes I don't have time to myself in the morning, or sometimes I don't have time to myself at night. And so it's one of those things that I have kind of like put on the back burner, and now I need to really focus my attention on it and like really put in the effort to make it happen. I'm gonna be 34. As I'm getting older, my skin is changing and it's looking like I'm 34, so I need to start taking care of it a little bit better and really making sure that I'm putting in the work, which I'm gonna do. Another daily habit that I wanna incorporate is going outside for at least 20 minutes every single day. We are coming up into winter soon here. I mean, I know that fall just started, but winter's just right around the corner. Last year, I think it snowed on November 1st. I'm really someone who thrives in the sun. My emotions are directly tied to what the weather is. So during the winter time when it's snowing and it's harder to get outside, I definitely get a little bit more depresso. So to combat that, I want to make sure that I am going out as much as possible while the weather is still really nice. Now that I am cleared to work out, I would love to incorporate like running outside, running at some trails, and also getting back into tennis would be something that I would love to do. Getting back on my skateboard. I haven't skateboarded since, before I got pregnant. I think it would be a good time for me to get back on my skateboard and get some more movement in, which brings me to my next goal, which is incorporating movement every day. Those two goals, I'll probably be able to like habit stack them by doing some movement outside, and that way I can like knock out both of those, two birds with one stone. Before my 6-week checkup, I was already getting the itch to like go back to the gym and like start running again, or at least like power walking, or doing something. And now that I'm cleared, now is the time to really make sure that I am actively doing it every single day, whether that's like a 20-minute Pilates, like mat Pilates kind of workout, or going to the gym and going on the treadmill for, an hour or so. I just want to make sure that I'm like starting to move my body again. Keeping up with 2 kids is definitely, it's hard. So I want to make sure that I'm in the best shape possible to keep up with both of them. So yeah, those are my daily habits that I am going to be incorporating this month. Again, I think there are definitely things that don't seem too much of a stretch to accomplish. I think they're very reasonable and things that I can habit stack. So we're good there. Now let's talk about some fun stuff that I want to do this month. I have my TBR list, and I also have my TBW list, which is to be watched. So as I said, I am currently finishing up Twilight Falls, book number 4 of the Shady Hollow series. I already requested number 5, Summer's End, from the library. So hopefully I'll be able to get that this month. They have a short that is available as an ebook. The short is called Phantom Pond. It's more of like a fall setting, but it seems like it's like a Halloween or like a spookier kind of setting, but it's just a short story. It's only available as an ebook, so I am definitely going to pick it up because it's just a short story, but hopefully I'll be able to finish Twilight Falls today. I'll get Summer's End sometime this month from the library whenever it becomes available to me, and then I'll probably once I'm finished with this, I'll probably already go ahead and purchase Phantom Pond so I can get started on it, and just like, that's a quick one to put off of my list already. Next on my TBR, and actually this book actually just became available at the library. I got notified today that I'm able to pick it up, but it is Homicide in Hollow Hollow. It's the second book in Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery series. I loved Arsenic and Adobo. I thought it was so fun. It's kind of like fitting too because October is Filipino Heritage Month, I believe. Another book that I have on hold at the library is Two Twisted Crowns. I'm number 2 in the waiting list. This is the second book in the, oh gosh, what is the series called? I'm blanking on it. But I read One Dark Window a couple months ago and loved it. I think I mentioned I gave it 4 stars at the time, but I think now I want to change it to 5 stars because it's a book that I can't stop thinking about, and I feel like I would love to read it again before I read the second book, which makes me feel like I should probably just buy the series or the duology. I should probably just buy it because it's also one that I feel like I would have loved to annotate it at the time of reading it, because there was so much that I had to talk about. So much that I wanted to talk about when reading it. So actually I might just pick those up. My back is killing me. I'm gonna see if I can put him down. Hold on a second. Okay, I was able to put him down. Hopefully he stays asleep. Another sequel that I wanna read this month is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. I had actually already picked this up from the library when it had first come out, but I did not have enough time to finish it, so I had to return it to the library. But I think I'm number 3 on the wait list at the library, so hopefully I'll get it this month and be able to read it this month. If not, if I'm not able to get those 2 books from the library, Two Twisted Crowns and Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, I do have 2 books from my physical library that I have yet to read. I have How to End a Love Story by Yulin Huang, and also Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek, which I think this would be a really good, like, it seems like a very like dark setting for like October. So, and I've heard really, really good things about both of these books. Since I've been reading a lot of like witchy books lately, I've been in the mood to watch a show that kind of gives me the same feelings as all of these books that I'm reading. But currently I'm kind of having a hard time finding some new shows. Actually, there is one show that is, you know, keeping in with the season. Me and my husband watched the show Ghosts. It streams on Paramount, but I think you can also watch it if you have like cable on NBC. Their new season is coming out on October 17th, and me and my husband were just talking about how we couldn't remember like what happened in the last season, so we just binge watched season 3, and it left off on a really big cliffhanger, so I'm really excited to like start the season back up again. So that'll be one that we'll watch this month, but it doesn't start until like mid-month, so we'll probably need something to like fill in the time. And I've actually started watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which has been super fun to like rewatch. I think I'm only on like season 1, episode 5 or 6. I think I just watched the episode where she goes to Libby's party and she clones herself and her clone streaks around the party. Or no, it's not Libby's party, it's Harvey's party. Harvey has a party and he says that it's like dying and it's like kind of like not fun. So he's like, we need to do something to liven up this party. And then Libby suggests for Sabrina to streak, and so she does, but it's her clone. So we just finished that episode. I don't know which number episode that is, but it's just been nice to have like a very like fun, witchy show that's like not too serious and like is very low stakes, but like in keeping with the season, in keeping with the theme of like Halloween and like fall. Another show that I want to rewatch that I never actually finished is Once Upon a Time. Again, kind of similar in keeping in with like the spooky fall season, but it's obviously like a little bit more fantasy, Disney-based kind of a show. But again, I was just looking for like some sort of like witchy, magical element. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I was reading the Glimmer Falls series and also the Toil and Trouble series, I was just like, I need a show that's like this, but like, you know, it doesn't need to be as like smutty, but I would just like to have a show like this that is like fun. I think these 2 shows, Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Once Upon a Time, will be able to fill that void for me. I also want to start watching Agatha All Along, which is on Disney+. So we've got Ghosts, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Once Upon a Time, and Agatha All Along. Those are like my 4 top shows that I want to be watching this month. And then in terms of movies, obviously I want to do a Harry Potter marathon. And we're gonna put in all the classics like Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town. But one of the movies that I really want to watch this year that I didn't get to watch last year either is Casper and Wendy. Obviously, I want to watch Casper as well, Devon Sawa Forever. However, I remember watching Casper and Wendy when it was like on, I think they showed it on like the Disney Channel or something, or maybe it was like ABC Family when they were like showing it on TV, and I haven't seen it since then, and it's not streaming anywhere. You have to, or I think you might be able to purchase it or like rent it from Amazon, but I'm like, I don't want to give you guys any more of my money. You know what I mean? I'd rather just like own the movie. So I'm on the hunt for Casper and Wendy, the DVD. And hopefully if I'm putting the vibes out there, the universe will like, you know, make it happen for me. That's my October plan. I hope that it has inspired you to create your timeline or your outline for October. It's a good time for us to kind of like evaluate what we have left in the year to do, any other things that you want to accomplish. It's like we're down to the wire. There's only 3 months left of the year. This is the time for us to like hit the ground running. Even though it's like a cozy time for us to like snuggle in, I feel like let's not get too comfortable. Let's make sure that we are hitting our goals and ending off the year really strong. At least that's how I feel. If you don't feel that way, if you are in a different boat, that's totally fine. If this just needs to be your cozy era, go for it. Just like, you know, just chill. I don't believe in forcing yourself, because I feel like that is a good way to burn yourself out. But yeah, like I said, right now I am feeling very energetic and like in my like ideas and my planning type of phase, and so I'm ready to like get started on like actually executing all of these things. So wish me luck. I'm gonna edit this video, post it tomorrow, and it'll be Vlogtober day 1, baby. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully. Wish me luck. I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. It's fine. I'm gonna do it. Okay. All right. That's it. Bye.